When someone walks away from you, when a woman you deeply cared about chooses to leave, it feels like the world stops moving for a while. You start asking yourself questions that have no answers. You replay every memory, every text, every laugh, wondering what went wrong. You think about what you could have done differently, what you could have said to make her stay. But here's the truth that most people don't want to hear. Chasing after her, begging for her attention, or trying to convince her of your worth will never bring her back. What brings her back is not pursuit, but transformation. It's not about proving your value to her. It's about rediscovering it for yourself. Because when a woman sees that you've become the man who no longer needs her validation, she'll feel drawn back to you in ways you can't imagine. When she walked away, she probably thought you'd crumble. She expected you to text her nonstop, to call her late at night, to say things like, "I can't live without you." She thought she had you figured out. But what will shock her is when you do the opposite. When you disappear into silence, not because you're playing games, but because you're focusing on your peace, your purpose, and your power. Silence has a way of saying everything words can't. It shows her that your world doesn't fall apart just because she's not in it. That's when curiosity starts to grow inside her. She starts asking herself, why isn't he chasing me? Why isn't he trying to fix things? And that curiosity, that uncertainty, becomes the seed that makes her think about you again. Women are emotional creatures. They feel before they think. When you pull your energy back, you remove the emotional supply she was used to. She starts missing your presence, your attention, your energy. But you have to understand something crucial here. This only works if you're genuinely focusing on yourself. If you're sitting there waiting, checking her social media every hour, hoping she'll text you first, then you're not moving forward. You're still stuck in the same loop. The key is emotional detachment. You must train yourself to stop depending on her reaction to validate your next move. Because the moment you become emotionally independent, you step into a version of yourself that is magnetic. Think about this. Every time you chase something, it runs away. But when you stand still, calm, confident, grounded in your value, things naturally come to you. The same principle applies in relationships. She'll come back not because you begged her, but because you evolved. You became the man she first fell for, but stronger, wiser, more centered. She'll start noticing your absence differently when she sees that your life didn't pause, that you're out there living, working, improving, smiling again. The energy of someone who's at peace is powerful. It's irresistible. But let's be honest, it's not easy. Your emotions will tempt you. You'll want to call her just to check in. You'll want to post something to make her jealous. You want to prove that you're okay even when you're not. But every time you act out of emotion, you hand her your power. She left expecting you to react. Instead, you need to respond with stillness. The modern man knows that control is everything. Not control over her, but control over himself. He doesn't let emotions drive him. He lets growth define him. During this time, your focus should be on becoming the version of yourself that commands respect and attraction without words. Get back into your routines. Hit the gym. Not for revenge, but for self-respect. Read, learn, upgrade your mind. Rebuild your confidence from within. The best revenge is not making her jealous. It's becoming so fulfilled, so stable, so confident that she wonders how she ever let you go. Because that's when the tables turn. When she sees that you've leveled up in silence, she'll start to question her own decision. You see, attraction doesn't respond to logic. It responds to emotion. You can't talk your way back into someone's heart, but you can make them feel your absence. You can make them miss the calm strength you now carry. When she sees that your energy is no longer chasing her, she'll begin to feel an emotional imbalance. She was used to being the center of your attention. Now she's not even sure if she still matters to you. That's when the fear of loss kicks in. And fear of loss is a stronger motivator than the desire to gain. She'll start to reflect on everything you brought into her life. But here's the twist. By the time she comes back, you'll have changed. You won't be the same man she left. You won't be desperate for her validation because you'll have already validated yourself. That's the moment of true power. You'll realize that you don't need her to complete you because you were never broken. You just needed time to remember who you were before love made you forget. That's when she'll want to come back. But now, the choice will be yours, not hers. Modern relationships often confuse people into thinking that whoever cares less wins. That's not true. The one who is more in control of their emotions wins. The one who can walk away without anger, without bitterness, wins. Because peace is power. You show your strength not by reacting, but by remaining centered. When she sees that you can love her deeply, yet still let her go gracefully, she'll realize that you're not like the rest. You're different. You're rare, and rarity always attracts attention. Now let's talk about what to actually do. Don't send her paragraphs trying to explain your worth. Don't stalk her page or ask mutual friends about her. Let her wonder. Let her imagination do the work for you. In silence, the mind amplifies everything. She'll remember your voice, your laugh, your touch, your kindness. But she'll also notice your distance, and that contrast will awaken emotions she can't ignore. Meanwhile, you need to be building your purpose, your health, your future. Start chasing your goals the way you once chased her. Because when your purpose becomes your new obsession, you'll start to glow differently. People will notice, and so will she. Energy doesn't lie. When a man is on his mission, women feel it without a word. They can sense that something has changed. They can feel that you're no longer the man who waits. You're the man who leads. And that leadership, that self-command is what draws her back. You also need to detach from the outcome. The truth is, when you stop caring whether she returns or not, that's when the universe aligns things in your favor. The act of letting go creates space for something new to flow in. Whether it's her renewed interest or something even better, the moment you surrender to life's flow without trying to control it, you shift from desperation to peace. That's when attraction happens naturally. You might wonder, what if she never comes back? That's okay too. Because the version of you that emerges from this process will attract someone even more aligned with who you've become. You'll realize that what was meant for you could never leave permanently, and what left was only clearing space for something greater. When she does see you again, stronger, calm, glowing with quiet confidence, she'll feel something familiar, yet unfamiliar at the same time. The same man she once knew, but with a different energy. She'll remember how you made her feel, but now she'll see that you've elevated beyond what she expected. That shock, that surprise is what makes her want to reconnect. But remember, when she comes back, don't rush. Let her prove her intentions. Let her earn her place again in your world, because you're no longer the man waiting for her return. You're the man deciding whether she deserves to come back. You'll understand that love isn't about convincing someone to stay. It's about being the kind of person they never want to leave again. That's what truly works. Not games, not manipulation, not pretending to move on, but actually moving on with grace, discipline, and confidence. You have to believe in your power. Every heartbreak, every rejection, every silence was a lesson to teach you that your happiness was never supposed to depend on anyone else. You are the source. The more you align with that truth, the more magnetic you become. You stop chasing energy, and energy starts chasing you. That's the ultimate shift. So, if you want her to come back 100%, don't chase her. Chase the best version of yourself. Don't text her. Text your goals. Don't wait for her. Wait for your blessings. And when those blessings start to unfold, you'll realize she wasn't the destination. She was just part of the journey that led you back to yourself. Because in the end, the one who truly wins is the one who finds peace, no matter who stays or leaves. That's the secret. That's what really works. When she walks away, you might feel like you've lost everything. The silence that follows feels louder than any argument. The nights become long, your mind restless, and your heart refuses to understand why things had to end this way. But that silence, painful as it is, becomes your greatest teacher if you allow it to. Because within that silence lies the opportunity to rebuild yourself, not as the man she once knew, but as the man you were always meant to be. You see, when she leaves, she expects to find you broken. She expects to be missed. But what she doesn't expect is to see you rise calmly, powerfully, and with purpose. That's what truly makes her rethink everything. Most men fail at this stage because they act from a place of fear. They fear losing her forever, so they chase. They reach out, apologize excessively, make promises they can't keep, and end up pushing her even further away. Desperation never inspires attraction. It destroys it. What inspires attraction is self-respect. It's when you say, "I'll miss you, but I'll be fine." That statement alone carries an energy that makes her see you differently because she realizes you're not attached to her. You're attached to peace, and peace is rare in this world. You have to remember that people are drawn to what they can't easily have. When you become distant, not in a cold, bitter way, but in a peaceful, self-assured way, you become mysterious again. And mystery creates attraction. When she can't predict your next move, she starts to think about you more. She starts to wonder if she made a mistake. That's when emotions begin to resurface. But it only works if your distance is genuine, not an act. Because women can sense when a man is pretending. You have to truly let go, focus inward, and move forward without pretending you're fine. You must actually become fine. Every day you wake up, remind yourself that you are the prize. Not because you're perfect, but because you're evolving. The world doesn't stop for heartbreak, and neither should you. Let the pain fuel your transformation. Channel that energy into something productive. Your goals, your body, your purpose. You'll start to notice something remarkable the more you pour into yourself, the less you crave validation from her. That's when emotional independence begins to form, and emotional independence is what makes a man unshakable. You'll start to realize that the version of you who begged for her was operating from scarcity. He thought she was the only source of love, peace, and happiness. But now, you're learning that all those things come from within. You become a source of your own peace. You create your own rhythm. That's when your energy shifts. You walk differently. You speak differently. You stop needing attention and start commanding respect without saying a word. That's the transformation she will feel before she even sees it. When a woman leaves, she's often testing something subconsciously. She wants to see if the connection you had was built on dependency or strength. If she walks away and you fall apart, she knows she had control. But if she leaves and you become even more focused, calm, and composed, she realizes that she lost a man of value. Because real value never begs, it attracts. Real power never chases, it pulls. That's the truth most people ignore. There will be moments when the loneliness hits hard. You'll want to reach for your phone just to see if she's online. You'll want to post something on your story, hoping she'll see it. But don't. Every time you give in to those impulses, you weaken the very energy that's making her think about you. Your silence must be sacred. Your distance must be meaningful. Because silence is not absence. It's presence without words. It speaks volumes when used with discipline. When she begins to see that your silence isn't a reaction, but a lifestyle, it will intrigue her. She'll start wondering what changed. Did you meet someone new? Did you finally stop caring? Did you outgrow her? And those questions will echo in her mind until she seeks answers. But by then, you'll already be different. You won't be waiting for her to return. You'll be deciding whether she fits into your new life. That's how the dynamic shifts. Modern attraction is all about energy. People feel your energy before they hear your words. If your energy says, "I need you," it repels. But if your energy says, "I'm complete with or without you," it attracts. That's why your focus should be on becoming emotionally and mentally solid. The kind of man who moves with purpose doesn't get lost in temporary emotions. The kind of man who understands that loss is just redirection in disguise. Start developing new habits. Wake up early even when you don't feel like it. Train your mind to push through resistance. Learn new skills, dress better, smell better, walk taller. Take care of yourself in a way that makes you proud to see your reflection again. When you glow internally, it always manifests externally. People will start noticing your energy shift. Even strangers will feel it. And trust me, when she sees that, it will hit her harder than any message you could ever send. Another thing that works: control your emotions publicly. Never let your pain show in front of her or anyone who knows her. Don't post sad quotes. Don't talk about how heartbroken you are. And don't let bitterness consume you. That energy spreads faster than you think. Instead, post your growth, not to show off, but to reflect your progress. Share moments of Joplin and peace. The goal isn't to make her jealous. The goal is to remind yourself that life goes on beautifully, even after pain. When she left, you probably thought it was the end of the story. But what if it's just the beginning of your evolution? Every man needs a moment of loss to awaken his potential. That heartbreak you're feeling is not meant to destroy you. It's meant to strip away the weaker parts of you. The part that settled, the part that begged, the part that forgot its worth. You're shedding that now. You're entering a new season where your energy speaks louder than your words. And when she starts noticing that, she'll feel something she didn't expect: admiration. She'll see a man who grew from pain instead of drowning in it. That admiration turns into curiosity. Curiosity becomes attraction. Attraction brings her back. But you must not do this for her. You must do this for you. Because if you grow just to impress her, you'll lose yourself again once she returns. But if you grow for your own peace, your own fulfillment, you'll keep your power no matter what happens. Understand this. Women are drawn to men who embody stability, emotional, financial, and spiritual stability. The man who doesn't panic under pressure, who doesn't need validation to feel whole, who moves through life with quiet confidence, he's the one they respect. So build that. Let your silence become your power. Let your growth speak for you. Because when she sees that you've become untouchable, she'll realize you were never chasing her. You were becoming someone she couldn't replace. Every time you think about her, redirect that energy. Go for a run. Create something. Learn something new. Train your body. Read a chapter of a book. Every time you invest that emotional energy into growth, you're building a foundation that no heartbreak can shake. That's what makes her come back. But even more importantly, that's what makes you unstoppable. Eventually, you'll reach a point where you no longer want her back out of loneliness, but only if it aligns with your peace. That's real strength. Because true power isn't about getting her to return. It's about being at peace whether she does or doesn't. When you reach that level of detachment, life begins to flow differently. People are drawn to you. Opportunities open up, and you start to attract what's truly meant for you. And when she comes back, and most of the time she will, you'll see it in her eyes, the realization, the regret, the curiosity. She'll try to test the waters, maybe send a simple, "Hey, how have you been?" message. And you'll smile, not because you've been waiting, but because you've already won internally. You've mastered your emotions. You've become the man who no longer chases love, but embodies it. That's when you'll understand that the secret was never about what you say or do to make her come back. It was about who you become in her absence. Because the man who transforms himself through pain becomes magnetic to everyone, not just to her. He becomes the kind of man who doesn't need love to feel complete, but whose completeness naturally attracts love back to him. So keep growing, keep working, keep glowing. The world will feel your energy shift. She will feel it too. And when she does, she'll realize what she lost was never just a man. It was peace, strength, and stability wrapped in human form. That realization will haunt her, and that's what makes her return. But by then, you'll be standing at a new level of self-respect, power, and purpose. And that's when you'll understand the ultimate truth. She didn't just come back. Life brought her back to a man reborn. There comes a moment when your silence begins to echo louder than any words you could ever speak. She starts to feel that shift in your energy, the same energy she once took for granted. Suddenly, the text she expected from you never come. The call she thought you'd make never happen. You've become a mystery again. And that mystery pulls her attention. She begins to wonder if you've finally moved on, if you've met someone new, if your heart no longer belongs to her. And that wondering turns into longing. It's not your absence that hurts her. It's your transformation within the absence that she feels deep down. But remember, this only happens when you've genuinely let go. Because letting go is not about pretending you don't care. It's about reaching a level of peace where her return or her absence no longer defines your happiness. You stop living in reaction to her choices and start living in alignment with your own. That's when your spirit changes. You walk differently, you speak differently, and your presence becomes commanding without being loud. You no longer chase attention, you attract it naturally. When she sees you again, maybe in person, maybe through a photo, something inside her will stir. She'll see the glow in your eyes that wasn't there before, the calm confidence, the relaxed body language, the quiet authority that says, "I'm good." It's not arrogance, it's assurance, the kind of energy that says, "I've healed." That energy is rare, and women are deeply drawn to it because it's safe, grounded, and real. She'll start remembering the moments when you made her feel secure, when your presence made her world feel stable. But now, she'll see that you've taken that same energy and given it back to yourself. That realization hits different because for the first time, she'll feel the imbalance. You no longer need her to feel whole, but she's starting to realize she still needs you. That's the magnetic reversal. That's when her curiosity turns into admiration and admiration turns into desire. But as she moves closer, as she starts to reach out, you'll notice something powerful inside yourself. You're no longer desperate for her reply. You're no longer nervous about whether she'll come back or not because you've tasted peace. And peace is addictive. You'll find yourself thinking, if she returns, fine. If she doesn't, I'm still winning. That mindset alone makes you unstoppable. It's what separates men who are controlled by emotions from men who control emotions. And that's the essence of what truly works. It's not a trick, not a manipulation. It's alignment. The universe responds to people who move with purpose, not fear. When you stop begging for what's gone and start building what's next, everything begins to flow toward you. Even her, you'll realize that she was never meant to be chased. She was meant to be reminded of what she lost when you became your best self. By then, you won't need to prove anything to anyone. Your growth, your peace, and your strength will speak louder than any message or gesture ever could. And that's when she'll return not to the same man she left, but to the version of you that found power in pain, calm in chaos, and confidence in silence. That's when you'll know you didn't win her back. You won yourself back first, and that's why she came.